What's up, y'all? Back with another video. Today we are going to be doing the ultimate, well, not today, over several days actually. We're going to be doing the, we'll call it the ultimate garage build. I'm going to walk you through kind of what's going to be going on here. Some of the steps that I'm taking to get the end result. But let's get to it. So what we want to do here is basically convert this garage into a shop. So I'm going to show you what the garage looks like right now. So I lost some footage here, but what I'm basically going to be doing is putting some joint compound on the wall to finish off the seams. What I had in this footage was showing you the garage and what had already been modified. So in the right hand of the screen, up in the right hand side here where I am on the ladder, there's a jack shaft garage door opener that has already been modified for a high mount system. So the tracks have been raised up so that when a lift is installed, we kind of don't have any overhead clearance issues. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna get the floor roughed up, get that ready for epoxy. We're gonna put some coat of paint on the foundation and get this thing ready and looking like the ultimate garage build shop for your do-it-yourself home auto enthusiast. Okay, so it feels like forever, but the drywall is finally patched. The joints are setting. They're almost dry. You can see it's prepped now. Gonna have to do some sanding to get this in order to to get it done. Man, this is some crazy work. It's been like 2 days. So let's talk real quick about preparing the concrete. So for the concrete, we're gonna do epoxy on the floor. And so I'm using here this ready mixed concrete patch. And so basically, you take out whatever you need and you just fill in the holes. So here you can see we filled in a hole here, filled in a hole there. So basically filled in all the spots. And this product says it takes about, let's see, it takes about anywhere from 2 to 4 hours, probably depending on the depth of how big the hole is. But basically got everything filled in. You can see here, filled in some spots along here, make it nice and level. So when we get the diamond blade, I think it's called, get that out on the floor. We'll be able to get the floor nice and roughed up for the epoxy. So next step is sanding and then paint. So let's get it done. All right, so I have this dust separator I got off Amazon, and the instructions are very interesting, to say the least. Supposedly there's a template here that's supposed to come with this to show you how to cut the hole in order to connect it to the bucket. But luckily, this is about, it's not quite 3 inches, but a 3-inch hole will do. There's the little connectors. So I got a 3-inch hole saw here. I'm gonna attempt to put this thing together. Okay, so got the hole cut out. See here how this fits in. Good enough. So now I believe, based off of these pictures here, these, wow, these aren't even screws. These are bolts. Nuts. Okay. So apparently there are 4 holes for this thing. So I guess what I could do, I'm gonna need a drill bit. So I didn't even end up using this product. It did not fit onto the vacuum attachments properly, but I do have it here ready and assembled for future use if needed. But it's supposed to help separate out the heavy dust particles so that as you're using the vacuum, your vacuum operates a little bit more efficiently while doing the work. So I'm gonna show you what this looks like real quick, hooked up to the vacuum and the grinder ready to go. So there it is. That's the shroud. You can see not too much dust when you put your hand on there, but this is what the surface looks like as you get it ready for the epoxy. The epoxy is going to set much better. If you set the epoxy without roughing up the floor, that floor is going to peel. It's not going to set as good. So this is the process to get the floor ready. So working on the floors, getting this prepped up, make sure you rent one of these from Home Depot. It's gonna save you a lot of time. So I ended up renting a floor polisher with the concrete prep tool. This actually helped tremendously to get the floors done faster, but you can use the smaller tool to get into the tight spaces. Okay, so right there we got window covered, everything covered, sanded the walls. I used the 100 grit mesh paper to sand this. It actually works a lot better than sandpaper, in my opinion. We got everything taped up, ready to spray. We're gonna paint these walls. We're gonna be painting these walls with Beer Scuff Defense. This is the Ultra Pure White. And then to make life easier, we're gonna be painting with this Graco Magnum X7 airless spray gun. So this should make the job a lot simpler, a lot easier. We'll see how it works. This is the first time I'm using this thing. So let's see what the end product looks like. All right, so we're gonna add a little flavor to this foundation. So right now I am here using the HG TV Home Paint by Sherwin-Williams. I got this in black, so using the Ultra Deep Base. Got this in black, as you can see right here, what it's gonna look like. So we just gotta paint this foundation, make it look amazing.
So at this point now, I am getting out the shop vac to vacuum the floor, get a nice good clean, get all that dust up so that the floors can be fully ready for the epoxy coat.
All right, it's mixing time. Make sure you're wearing a respirator. I hear this stuff is pretty strong, so here we go. Since I have 3 sets of this, I'm gonna probably put in about 1/3 of the thinner. Mix this stuff up. Alright, so we are starting with component A. There it is, baby. Plate. Okay, yep, that's pretty strong. Here we go. Wow, yeah. Woo! What a smell. My gosh, that is strong. Okay, there's component B and some thinner. So, probably about 1/3. And then, chemical magic. Oh man, wow. Wow. Gotta get this mixed quickly here so we can start applying. Don't want this to dry up and get hard on us. Okay, it's showtime. So, top it in, start the magic.
So I decided on using a PPG product. This is a 100% solids epoxy. It's in the ultra white. And I started with just kind of going in the edges and the cracks, and then I'm just gonna get everything spread out until the entire floor is completely covered.
All right, so here's the end product. Epoxy, white, foundation black, walls white. Next up, time for the auto lift. So this is the garage, and it's finally game time. We got the A+Lift here. This is a 2-post lift with the bottom base plate setup. So this is gonna be an interesting little job here, but we gotta drill 5 holes on each side to get this lift supported in the floor. I was watching a video with one guy who installed one of these. He went by the manual and he drilled his holes, and then when he came to fit the plate in, he was not able to fit the plate. So I would recommend, you know, if you're not comfortable with this work, get somebody who knows what they're doing to do it for you. Unless you're risky like me. Any methods I use to install this are my methods. Please consult a qualified professional to do this work for you. So what I did was, I laid out these posts and I made sure this plate sits here. This is where all of the wires will run underneath, covered up by this plate. So I got my holes marked out. So I've marked out my 5 holes. Because this is so tight in this space, I have to mark the holes, move the posts, drill the holes, put the posts back in place and secure them. What else we got here? Yeah, other thing, because of the space that I'm working with here, it's literally just right on point, so I don't have any extra space. So this big boy unit right here is supposed to mount off on the side. But as you can see, this thing is not gonna fit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have to create a little rake here and mount this thing maybe right here, somewhere on the wall, on the side. You gotta improvise sometimes when things don't always fit to spec, but we're gonna get these holes drilled out and get these bolts set and be on our way to lifting up a car.
So right now I'm using a Bauer rotary hammer and drill bit that I got from Harbor Freight, getting these holes put in the floor, getting the floor prepped to get those concrete anchors put in place.
All right, so here's the lift. Got a lot of pieces configured here. First thing I'll point out, the instructions are terrible, but if you got some common sense, you can figure this thing out. This cable here goes, it loops under, comes down to this section, the pulley right there, and then it runs across. It runs across this this plate, goes in, comes up, and then it is secured right here. Then you do the same for the other. Reverse, you put that pulley over, bring it down, run it across, and then you connect it here. Boom. I made the mistake of forgetting about the access point for the hose right here. There's a spot in there. Save yourself the trouble. Take off this lovely protection cover before getting, depending on how you're installing this. What I ended up having to do is I unscrewed this fitting, took the fitting completely off, rotated the cylinder, got access to it, took it out, rotated it back. I was able to hook everything up. So as for now, everything is basically set. It looks amazing. To talk a little bit about this lift is an A+Lift. The model number is the HW10KBP. It's a 2-post lift with the plate on the floor. It looks pretty good. I mean, we talk about a nice little shop coming together here. There it is. Look at that. Look at that beauty. So I got this piece of board right there. I got to figure out how to get this thing mounted. It's quite heavy. It's got a little bit of weight to it. And because it's not going on the side of the post where it originally would go, I've got to figure out and make sure that I've got enough space to mount this. And then I got to run the electrical. So for the electrical, we are running. For the electrical, we are running a 10x2 25-foot Romex cord with a 30 amp double pole breaker. And my box is a type CH. Make sure you get the right fuse for your box. Boom and boom. And then what I'll end up doing is I'll run it down in a conduit. So we've got a conduit for that. So I'm gonna drop this conduit in. This conduit's gonna go, this is a 1/2 inch PVC pipe. It's gonna go from the roof, and I'm gonna drop it down right to this box area here. Terminate it, make it look good. Check your code for bracket placings. So yeah, it's coming together. We got the hydraulic fluid. That is from Napa. It's the AW32. This particular unit requires a low foam. So we got here the AW32 hydraulic oil. Hopefully this is what we need here based off of the specs. So yes, everything's coming together, and the lift is almost complete. So right now, as soon as this unit gets mounted to the wall, run the electrical, it's ready to rock and roll. All right, we'll see you at the next section.